Unit 4 Review, Question 13. Write each fraction in simplest form. Down here I have a few different methods for simplifying a fraction. When we say simplify a fraction, we mean simplify it completely, and that means that the numerator and denominator share no common factors. We're going to focus on method 2, but if you're more comfortable with 1 or 3, you can feel free to do that. So the idea is, look at the numerator and denominator and see if they share any common factors you can think of. Well, both of these are even, both 12 and 18. The negative sign, I'm just going to keep that out front. So I'm going to divide the numerator and denominator by 2. And I get negative 6/9. Now I notice that this is not completely simplified. 6 and 9 have a common factor of 3, so I'm going to divide again. So I'm going to start with the 6, divide by 3, and I'm also going to divide the 9 by 3. So whatever you divide the numerator by, you divide the denominator by, and the result is negative 2/3. Notice 2 and 3 don't share any common factors besides 1, so this is completely simplified. Okay, I'm going to show you the lazy way. Math people got sick of writing all these steps, so you may see something like this. Well, they're both divisible by 2, so I'm going to divide by 2 on the top and bottom. I'm going to cross that out, and I replace it with 6 and 9. I see they share a common factor of 3, so I'm going to divide them both by 3. And now I see that what's left is negative 2/3. So this is a shortcut version for rather than writing all of these divisions, but I wanted to show you the division so you knew what this meant. Let's look at the next one. Well, 30 and 16, I see again they're both even, so I'm going to start by dividing both the numerator and denominator by 2. Well, 30 divided by 2 is 15, and 16 divided by 2 is 8. Now I notice that they do not share any common factors besides 1. 15 is 3 times 5, 8 is 2 times 2 times 2, so this result is completely simplified. Okay. Notice what I did, and it sort of connects to method number 3. To determine if it was completely simplified, I thought of its prime factorization. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to write this all out. 2 times 4, 4 is 2 times 2. Okay, but I thought of it in my head thinking of what the factors were, and I realized they didn't have any in common. If you want to be absolutely certain, you could write these prime factorizations. Now 18 times 6, well, I could say they're both even. They're also both divisible by 3. I'm going to start with 3 just to be a little different than last time. 18 divided by 3 is 6. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Now these are still even, so they still have a common factor of 2. So I'm going to divide them each by 2. And we get 3/1. And 3/1 is considered a whole number when the denominator is 1. And we usually write it just as a whole number by itself, 3 instead of 3/1. Let's look at the next one. Order the fractions from least to greatest. So we're given a few fractions here and we want to order them. And there's some general rules down here that we're just going to follow as we go through this process. So first, what I'm noticing is negative numbers are always smaller than positive numbers. So these two are negative, so they're going to be the least, and they're going to be at the beginning of our list. So now, which one is smaller? Is it negative 3/8 or negative 5/8? Okay. There's a description down here, but what I want you to think of, here's 0, negative 3/8 is 3 equal eighths to the left. We'll call this negative 3/8, and 5 is 2 more to the left. Okay. So negative 5/8 is actually smaller than negative 3/8. So negative 5/8 is going to be the first number in our list, and then negative 3/8. Okay. So now we'll look at the positive numbers. Okay. Well, there's 3 positive numbers, and there's a few things I'm noticing now. Okay. These 2 numbers have the same denominator, so to compare them, we can just compare their numerators. Okay. There's also 9/8. It doesn't have a denominator of 4, but I'm noticing that 9/8 is greater than 1. Okay. So since 9 is bigger than 8, this is an improper fraction. Here, these are both proper fractions between 0 and 1, so I know they're smaller. Okay. 1/4 is less than 3 copies of 1/4, so our next number is 1/4. Then we have 3/4, and our largest number is 9/8. Okay. So we used a lot of reasoning to go through this process, which is usually the quickest way. Another way you can do this is start by, and I'll do this somewhat quickly, rewrite them all with a common denominator. So 3/4 is 6/8. I'm going to write negative 3/8 as negative 3/8, then 9/8, negative 5/8, and 1/4 is 2/8. Okay. So this requires writing them with a common denominator, which wasn't too hard here because 8 is a multiple of 4. Okay. And then you can just look at the numerators and think of integers. Well, the smallest integer is negative 5, then negative 3, then 2, then 6, and then 9. Once you've written them in order, you need to put them back in the original form. So we had changed 2/8 was 1/4, and we changed 3/4 to 6/8. So we would rewrite our lists in the original form. So you can see this takes a little more time, but I wanted to show you this way because if you get stuck, this always works. Sometimes it might be harder to reason this way, but you can see it's a lot quicker.